Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream. And 3 goals yesterday, a back three and 3 wins in a row for Graham Potter's Magical Blues. First away win since October. We managed to score 3 goals in a game. We put the ball in the back of the net 5 times in total, even though 2 goals were ruled out. Can't remember the last time that happened. And in general, a really positive performance. Heading up to the game, wasn't really too sure how to feel. Leicester aren't in good form this season, but they've still got some decent players like James Maddison can cause any side's problems. And given how we've been on the road this season, to expect to win would have been a little bit stupid, considering we hadn't won since October at Villa Park. But we turned up. We did a really good job. The only time we were slightly under pressure in the game was after the João Felix goal got ruled out for offside and they got their equaliser. They kind of pressed us a little bit and then sort of started the second half as well. We came out a little bit slow, which tends to be standard Chelsea at the moment, and Leicester had a few opportunities. They probably should have scored and made it 2-2. I'm not really sure how. I think it was either Dewsbury Hall or someone else. Pretty much open goal almost and just put it straight at Kepa. So we rode our luck at times, but there were some superb performances all round. And fair play to Graham Potter. He's put 3 wins together. Yes, it's going to need more than that, but when the pressure's been on, the chips have been down, we've had to win. We've managed to win 3 on the spin, which, okay, you could say it's 2 wins against 2 relegation threatened sides, and then obviously a great win against Dortmund. But you can only play what's in front of you. And considering the run that we've been on, 3 wins in a row in a week even would have been unthinkable just a couple of weeks ago. So, I think the wheels are in motion. I think things are starting to change a little bit. Small signs of progress, small steps. We're not going to get too carried away here. One more game, Everton at home before the international break. And then we have a couple of weeks off and then we come back and we hit the fixtures hard again. But this was a really important result, really important result. I mean, Dharmesh, 3-1 at Leicester, 3 goals. There's some signs of progress, signs of progress that, as I said, a few weeks ago, we couldn't see them at all when we were losing to Southampton, Tottenham and stuff. You're not seeing anything. Now, we kind of switched back to the back 3 and we're kind of seeing some progress and we're kind of seeing some small signs of improvement.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again, Charlie. Big up the chat as well. Sub to Charlie's channel and stuff. Get him to 3K. Overall, sort of the performance. I missed sort of most of the game because I was out with family and stuff. But from what I watched over the second half and stuff, I thought we played some really good stuff at times. But then there were also times where it was like, oh, we kind of got sort of fortunate in a way where that chance you mentioned about Dewsbury Hall should have scored. It was literally right in front of him. Probably like 5 yards, 10 yards from goal, should have just scored. And that would have made the game 2-2, I believe, I think. Yeah. And also, possibly, I think one of the chances that, I can't remember who had the chance for Leicester, but I think it was a good save from Kepa as well.
Yeah, a couple of decent saves from Kepa.
Yeah, did okay. I thought he was quite fortunate, though, not for the Dewsbury Hall goal, that he didn't sort of connect with it because I think he would have been at fault for it because obviously there was a cross coming into the box. I think it was a corner or a free kick, and then he failed to sort of catch it and stuff. And that's always been one criticism of Kepa I've had is sort of his commanding and sort of corners and free kicks where they come into the box. And I think rival sort of teams sort of target that in a way. And I'm not sure if he could have done better for the goal. For the Daka goal,
it was a good strike. In fairness,
it's a good strike. But then the thing is, when these sort of shots go in from far against Kepa, we including myself as well. I'm always like, could Kepa have done better? And that's sort of one of his weaknesses is long shots, which you've seen in the past as well. But other than that, I thought we defended well at times. The midfield were solid at times as well. Even though we got beaten a few times, we still defended quite well with the back 3 in place. Enzo Fernandez as well. What a player, man!
He was class.
Some of the passes you're playing, especially for the Havertz.
It's like having Fabregas back in terms of that eye for a pass and that quality of pass and that ability of pass. Like we haven't had someone that can do that. Look, we've had good players like Kante, Kovacic, etc., Jorginho, and whatnot. Different profiles, and none of those can pick a pass like that, or like the West Ham pass as well that Enzo did for João Felix. Like Kovacic, maybe the closest one to having it in his locker, but in terms of having that ability up your sleeve, Enzo is clear in terms of quality and player that can play that pass under pressure in the Premier League. I mean, it was an exceptional pass.
Yeah, even just before the goal, it's like in that situation when I was watching sort of highlights and stuff. I'm like, if that was Jorginho, he definitely would pass it to either Chilwell or he would try and pass it back. He wouldn't attempt a pass like that. And we sort of seen those runs that Havertz has done, where he most of the time he's offside, but this time timed his run really well. And I think the finish is, I think a lot of people take it for granted.
Mate,
the finish
it's a great finish.
The finish was really good, like literally, like instinctful finish from a player who's in good form at the moment. I've obviously criticized Havertz a lot, and he still has a lot to prove, just like a lot of these sort of players have, including the manager. But based on the sort of the 2 or 3 games that we've seen of Kai Havertz and the rest of the players, they're doing well at the moment. And if we just have to keep building momentum on games, and those are sort of the shout outs as well from the game. Even Ben Chilwell, man, what a strike as well. I don't know if the keeper could have done better with that goal, but
I think
it's such a clean hit, man.
Mate, it's a great hit. I mean, even just the technique for that is really difficult. Like watching a cross onto your foot and then hitting that volley cleanly,
as well, bro,
getting it on target.
I've said to you, bro, as well, like on past sort of streams and stuff. Like I don't know what it is, but Chilwell was like sort of end quality's gotten so much better since he's come back from injury. I don't know if
since we've switched back to a back three, his performances have just gone up a level.
Like his crossing and corners have been so good. His strike on the ball is better than we've seen it. Like I don't know if it's just me, but he's improved that so much. Maybe he's done sort of end product training like during the World Cup and stuff when he was out and stuff.
No, I just think he's a lot more. I just think he's way more comfortable playing in a 3. It's as simple as that. Like it suits him so much better because obviously he's a good defender, of course, first and foremost, but his real strengths are going forward, and you can't. Simple facts are you cannot get forward as much in a 4 as you can in a 3.
Yeah,
because obviously you've still got defensive responsibilities as a wing back, but you've got midfielders that can drop in and cover. You've got a third centre back that can come over and fill in for you if you get caught up the pitch. So defensively you get exposed a little bit. In wing back, it's not a complete disaster because you've got ample cover. But there's no coincidence that as soon as we switched back to the back 3. That Chilwell's best performances have come, and it was great that he got times, I mean, obviously he wasn't there yesterday, but having Chilwell and Reece playing together as our wing backs is going to be a massive plus to the team. And I was delighted for Chilwell yesterday because it's been a tough time for him. The injuries that he's had, form's not been great since coming back from injury, but now these last 3 games he's been absolutely superb, and it was great because the Leicester fans were hammering him yesterday, and for him to get that strike. Celebrate in front of them. The Ben Chilwell's won the European Cup chance on the away, and it was a great moment for him. And delighted for him because he's had some big injuries, particularly coming when he's been in really good form. Delighted for him because a fit Ben Chilwell and a fit and firing Ben Chilwell is a massive plus to Chelsea, and he's going to be really, really instrumental for us as we push on kind of for the remainder of the season. But I mean. In terms of the lineup, mate, it was pretty much unchanged from it was unchanged from Tuesday night's win against Dortmund, bar Loftus-Cheek coming in for Reece James. Oh, and Mudryk coming in for Sterling as well. You could say it's a little bit harsh on Badiashile to miss out, but then you can't drop Cucurella after putting in a man of the match performance after leaving him out of the squad for the last 3 match days. As harsh as it is on Badiashile, I think that was the right call from Potter to pick the team that he did. Obviously, Ruben coming in for Reece was an obvious one, and I guess Mudryk coming in for Sterling as well was kind of obvious. Yeah,
looking at the team, didn't really have any complaints. No. To be honest, Cucurella, obviously, his best performance in Chelsea shirt on Tuesday playing against Dortmund was sublime, and you can't really drop him for that. That will sort of knock his confidence at the same time. And I think Potter definitely trusts Cucurella, given his past sort of at Brighton as well. So he sort of built that relationship with Potter as well. So he's ahead of sort of the pecking order in terms of playing that left centre back role. Obviously, it's harsh on Badiashile, but you said so many times, and I've sort of said as well. It's like players are going to miss out, with the squad that we've got. Big name players are going to miss out. I know we haven't mentioned his name, but even Mason Mount wasn't even in the squad yesterday. That just shows the amount of players we have in the squad, and these big sort of names will get sort of dropped from the squad or the team basically. And I thought shout out to Fofana as well, really good as well. I thought
he was top draw,
really good as well. Obviously going back to the King Power for the first time. I mean, is it the first time? Yeah, it is the first time.
First time he joined last summer.
Yeah, first time going back as well. Mudryk finally broke the 007.
Nice assist. I mean, it's a shame that that goal that he scored, which was a good finish, by the way, was ruled out for offside, and he was giving it the full.
Was it Enzo who played the pass? Was it cover?
Yeah, I think it was Enzo that played the pass. Could have just maybe played it a fraction earlier if we're being really critical.
Yeah,
I think he was just off. Well, he was just off. But it's a good finish for someone that's seemingly low on confidence from what people would say. You could have easily put that straight at the keeper, put it wide. Good finish. Yeah. He brings out the vintage Drogba celebration.
Yeah.
Mate, got that
on his birthday as well, wasn't it?
Mate, on his birthday, and he's got that number 15 shirt as well.
Yeah,
what Drogba had when he first joined. Shame it didn't count for him, but I've got no kind of doubts over Mudryk.
I definitely want to see him more. Like,
it was deployed down the middle yesterday. Which I thought was quite interesting from Potter in terms of a tactical setup. I think very much maybe looking to get in behind Leicester and exploit that pace, whereas Havertz down the middle, obviously Havertz hasn't got as much pace. That ball over the top for Mudryk to try and run onto. I guess that was the thinking behind that. I mean, I don't think we really used it that much or as much as we could have done. Obviously, that goal in the second half that was ruled out. That was probably the only time we really saw a clean pass through to Mudryk. But I think that could be a tactic we may look to use elsewhere against teams that maybe play a high line.
Liverpool, definitely, for sure. I definitely want Mudryk to start against Liverpool. If we're looking at sort of a team to tackle that high line, Mudryk, I think, definitely has to start that game when that comes around. I believe it's in start of April. Even generally, I didn't think he had the best game, Mudryk, in my opinion. Obviously, got the assist and stuff, but like I said, I would definitely want to see more of him. Sort of starting the team, and then he can sort of build that chemistry with the front three, as well as build his own confidence as well. Because we have to remember as well, he hasn't played a lot of football due to circumstances out of his control as well. So I definitely want to see him more. And I thought João Felix was okay. Obviously, he messed up for the goal, trying to be too clever, I guess, for the goal, but. Apart from that,
he scored the goal, but he's just offside, and then he obviously hits the post as well.
It's unfortunate, but I have no concerns about João.
No, I don't either. In terms of Felix, like obviously it'd be great if he had more goals, but you can tell the impact he's had in terms of the ability and like
it's fluid, isn't it?
How he's raised the standard of the attack and kind of raised the standard of those around him. You can tell that despite not having the numbers to back it up, he's brought this Chelsea attack on a level. And I think he went up at half time with a bit of a knock. Just on that, by the way, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but the referee yesterday was shocking. In terms of there are a couple of tackles, one on João Felix in the first 5 minutes from Ricardo Pereira, which is worse than the Casemiro one today that he got sent off for. Really? Wow. Not even looked at. And then there was another one. There was another one which I can't remember, but there's a couple of tackles, right? Definitely the João Felix one. Pereira should have been off. And I don't know how they've missed it. It was the same referee on VAR yesterday that missed 2 blatant reds. That was on the United game today, and gives that Casemiro one, which is bad and is a red card, but it wasn't as bad as the other 2 yesterday. So it just highlights again that despite having the best footballing products in terms of the Premier League, like the level of officiating is still so poor. It is really poor. I mean, I don't know what we can kind of. I mean, Howard Webb has come in. He's going to make some changes. It's a massive job to sort that out. The PGMOL are a joke. He's got a lot on his plate, but I do think, in fact, I've heard him speak a few times. I do think that he's the kind of guy that is going to go in there and try and sort this mess out. But we cannot have the level of mistakes being made each week and the levels of inconsistencies where in one game a decision's looked at and it's a red, and in another game a decision of equal or worse is not looked at all. You just can't have those levels of inconsistencies at the top end of the game. The whole point of bringing this technology in was to eradicate these errors from the game. As a referee, it's a hard job. You can't see everything. You can't see everything, and that's why that technology is there to help you out. I mean, I almost think, like, apart from the kind of the offside stuff, I almost think, like, if there's a decision to be looked at, just say to the ref, you should go and look at this tackle again. Yeah. That's it. I don't understand why the referees don't get called to the monitor more. The monitor's there for a reason, because otherwise the referee's not reffing the game. It's being reffed by a couple of refs in a fucking room somewhere miles away from the games. You know,
I think what it is as well. I think I heard something ages ago where they were trying to stop referees going to the monitor so often and trying to make the sort of concrete and precise decisions without the monitor. That's what I heard, I think, a while back, because we saw when VAR was introduced that referees were going to the board more, but at the same time, they want to reduce that to sort of get that precision in terms of getting the decisions right. But like I said, I missed some of the, like most of the game, to be fair. So like I only saw pictures of it on Twitter with was it the Fafana? I think did he have bruised rib or something? Or
I know it was Havertz. That was the other
was it
red card.
Havertz?
That was the other red card challenge.
Oh, okay, yeah. I only saw those pictures, and then
Yeah, man, it was
the
some sort of
Felix
kung
one,
fu
which looked
stuff.
quite bad actually. But yeah, officiating, like you win some and you lose some, which is sort of the mentality I have with like refereeing, man. Like we've been fortunate at times, but at the same time we've been screwed over by refs. But yeah, I don't think anything is going to change, to be honest, in terms of that. In terms of the quality of refereeing, I think it definitely would have brought up a more uproar if we had dropped points. I think because then we'd be like, oh,
Yeah,
what if
yeah,
thingy got sent off? I don't know who made the tackles and stuff, but
it was Pereira and someone else
also
that
Pereira.
I've actually forgotten. But I mean, yeah, one thing I would say as a farce is that I don't know how I haven't got the solution, but celebrating goals and then not knowing if it's gonna fucking count as a goal or not. Like twice yesterday, even scored. You're celebrating it. The players are celebrating, and then you've got to wait like 2 or 3 minutes to then find out if you've got a goal or not. Like there's got to be a better way around this, or there's got to be better communication in the stadium, because you celebrate, you're waiting for the other team to kick off, and all you get on the big screen is VAR checking a possible offside. There's no communications, no nothing. Like you've got to inform fans better, like from a viewing experience in the ground and from a viewing experience on the TV. You can't just have it where you celebrate a goal, you think you've gone up, you think you've got back into a game or whatever, and then you have a 2 or 3 minute wait, and suddenly it's just like, oh yeah, by the way, that's not counting. There's something different's got to be done.
That's like even even during your vlog that you obviously put out yesterday, and I think on Lewis's vlog as well for Chelsea Fan TV, I think it was when Havertz's goal went in. Like obviously from where you guys were sat, it was obviously the other end and stuff, but it was such a good goal, and you can't even sort of celebrate that because from where you guys are sitting, you wouldn't know if that's offside. But obviously, if you're watching it from a TV screen, you know straight away.
Yeah,
and then it just, like you said, the viewing experience just doesn't like hit the same in the way, because when that Havertz went in, like you guys were a bit hesitant on celebrating, which is fair.
I didn't
enough,
I didn't know. Wasn't sure.
You didn't know, yeah.
I mean, celebrated 5 times yesterday, and obviously, like, if you get ruled out, something needs to be done. I mean, I haven't got the answers, but there needs to be a compromise, or there needs to be like, you need to hear particularly on TV. There's no reason why you should not be hearing the conversations that are taking place in the VAR room. There's no reason.
Post-match interviews should be done for referees as well, I think, in my opinion as well, because I think they're getting too comfortable because they know that they can just get away with it, and then because they're not big names as referees, like obviously
no one's gonna recognize a referee out and about in the street unless you're one of the well-known ones. Like, to be honest, if it was like someone like an Anthony Taylor, who's kind of like quite easy to identify, but in terms of just like your run-of-the-mill referees, mate, I don't think many fans would actually recognise any referees.
I wouldn't either, and it's the fact that they're secure and they all protect each other and help each other from their points of view. So like they probably have a group chat right now, just laughing at sort of the decisions they made. Like, it wouldn't surprise me at all if that sort of happened. They're like, oh, who should we send off tomorrow? Oh, let's send off. This is
a conversation that's been happening for a long time now about the standard of officiating in this league, in this country, and what can be done to do it, because the standard of officiating has been going down and down and down for years now, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better at all. So something needs to be done in that respect. But I mean, luckily, as you say, mate, more of a fuss would have been made if it had cost us points or cost us the win or whatever. But I mean, I suppose on reflection, at least it doesn't matter. But sometimes they go for you, and it doesn't matter. But other times it will matter, and it will cost you big points. And
it could cost you for players as well. I know Mikel Arteta has been vocal on this as well, and I think Jurgen Klopp, I believe, as well, and Pep, where I think it was Saka. Like
Just get
Arteta said something like
booted.
he doesn't get protection from the referee, which is fair, I guess. Like whatever you think of Arsenal and stuff, like he does have a point in that respect where just Saka just gets like booted off the ball so many times. We had that with Hazard, I think, at one point as well,
Yeah,
didn't
a
we?
lot of
Like
kicks.
just a lot of kicks. Gareth Bale's another one for Spurs as well. Just used to get fouled so many times. Jack Grealish for Man City as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, these players don't get any protection, which is ultimately sort of the price that we sort of pay as fans.
Yeah, no, it is. Let me just get to a few things in the chat. Agreed. Enzo is definitely worth every penny. We'll come on to him shortly. Big up, Ashraf. Yep, nice one. We have 3 home games now. We need 9 points or at least 7. We'll get onto this conversation shortly. But, yes, we're still 10th, but going on a run of wins I'm not saying we're going to come top 4, but top 6 is more than attainable, 100%. Considering we've still got home games against the likes of Brentford, Brighton, Newcastle, and Villa, etc., to name a few. All home games that are very winnable. Yes, they're decent size, but those are very winnable games at home. Yeah, agreed. Chilwell has been massive. After we get RJ back, chilling him. Yeah, no, it does. People that don't appreciate how much of a difference this makes. And we really haven't actually had, over the last couple of years, we haven't actually had Ben Chilwell and Reece James playing consistently in the same team for a run of games for the longest time possible. It feels like it's been a long time since the two of them started like 4, 5, 6 games on the spin together.
It's just football we play. With the players that we've got,
it is. He's always had end products back. Yeah, the back 3 is so much better for Chilwell. And I know the back 3 long term, we probably don't want to stick with that. We probably will sign a defensive midfield player in an attempt to switch to a 4. But part of me is kind of thinking like maybe we should stick with the back 3 because James and Chilwell are so good as wing backs. Like it almost feels like a waste going to a 4. But
that's a really good debate to sort of have in terms of like, if we do sign a DM, do we go back to the 4? But then also obviously hinder Reece James and Chilwell's like attacking ability. But then do we stick to the 5 or 3 at the back where we get the best out of Reece and Chile, but then sacrifice that midfield? It's a really good debate to sort of have, I think.
I guess like the ideal scenario is to be comfortable in both situations. I think a good team has got to be competent in multiple systems, because there's gonna be times where a back 3 is going to be more suitable for certain games, whereas a back 4 will be more applicable for others. You might switch it. You might start with a 3 and then switch it up with a 4 if you're chasing a game or whatever. If you think tactically it might be working better for you. So whilst I think it's good that we're well versed in the 3, but I do think if we get the signings in that we're looking to get in, then let's try the 4 as well. But it's clear though that the 3 is the way to go for the rest of this season. We started with the 3 under Graham Potter. We went 9 games unbeaten. We didn't see it again until last weekend, and now we've reverted back to the 3, and we've got 3 wins on the spin. So, it's clear that's what suits us best right now. It's simple as that. Mate, before we get back to the game, I just wanted to talk about a couple of things. Chelsea last night signed another player. Never heard of him before. Don't know anything about him, but Jamaican talent Dujuan Whisper Richards, probably completely pronounced the first name wrong, has signed with Chelsea yesterday, but he'll join the club directly in November when he'll turn 18. Next one to join Chelsea will be Ecuadorian gem 2007-born Kendry Paez, as also revealed last month. Yeah, so I think Newcastle were pretty close to getting this deal done, but like Joe Shields and co have got this deal wrapped up. He's going to join in November when he turns 18. I think he made his Jamaican senior debut last night. I mean, I don't expect anyone to know anything about this guy. I don't think many of us and many fans have watched him at all. But I guess it's still good to see the club are looking to sign up the top talents of the future for years to come. And I suppose not all of these guys will work out, but I guess by getting them on cheap deals now, you're going to make a profit at the least, even if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, we just have to see the sort of development. It's good that the ownership are sort of planning for like youth development and also maybe profit as well. That's why they've sort of invested heavily with all these sort of young players, where they know that they can get a lot of money in return if say clubs could come in for them. So yeah, obviously don't know much about him. Haven't seen him play before. See how he does in the academy. If he does well in the academy, maybe get a loan. See if he does well on loan. Then maybe push for the first team. Who knows, man? The ceiling's literally there. There's literally no limit for the ceiling for these sort of young players, man. It's just on them to sort of make it work out for themselves. So yeah, exciting times, man, in terms of signings. But one thing I would like to say is that I really do hope that ownership though are sort of planning for summer signings, because obviously we did spend a lot of money in January, but I think we as Chelsea fans all know that it's not the end of the puzzle yet for us. We still got to sign a few players, and I hope the sort of ownership are looking at players that are ready to play now as well for the summer. But yeah, just thought I'd say that just to sort of like make sure that we're on the right track in terms of signing players.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. I'm sure they are. I mean, this deal, Chelsea's deal for Dujuan Richards, is worth less than £1 million. He's considered a wonder kid. Joe Shield's crucial in negotiations. And then obviously confirming what we knew last month, Kendry Pires will also be a Chelsea player soon. Yeah, I mean, it's great to see these wonder kids being signed. I think it's not at the expense of the first team. I think plans for the first team are very much ongoing. I think Joe Shields is more of a kind of a youth recruitment sort of guy. Yeah. But so it's good to see that, we're improving the academy, we're improving the first team, and this recruitment drive is a real positive. But yeah, to pretend that any of us know anything about this player would just be lying, because I've got absolutely no idea. Never heard of him before yesterday. I'll pay some more attention now that he's going to be a Chelsea player in November.
Yeah.
But let's wait and see what happens. I mean, you talk about young guys. Guys going to be 18 in November, but yes, he could go on to be a good player, and players develop at different rates. But when you think about like the top players, like Mbappe was already playing Champions League at 18. Rooney was already an established Premier League player. Like, it's like there's good and then there's good. This guy's probably is a good footballer, but like, there are levels to the game. I'm not saying he can't go on and be a top player. I'm sure he could be, but you are still taking a gamble when you sign someone. When you sign young players, you've got, with the exception of the very best in the world, you've got no idea how these moves are really going to work out. Like none of us know.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, it wouldn't be a day without a Chelsea signing. So yeah, good. I suppose some good news in that regard. I wanted to talk about the race for the European places, the race for the top four. Big up Peslord, by the way. Richard, have you watched him play? Like, I mean, I don't know what part of the world you're based in, but have you watched much of him? Have you seen him play a lot? Because I've certainly haven't seen anything from him at all. Actually, a lot of talk after the game yesterday. Not in terms of actually believing it's going to happen, but a lot of people talking about whether Chelsea can still make top four. I personally believe no, because I think we're relying on ourselves to put a big run of games together, whilst also needing a lot of other teams above us to drop points. But I mean, where do you sit on it? We've got 12 games left in the league. We've got a game in hand, which is that one against Liverpool. And if we do win that, we'd be 8 points off Spurs in fourth. So obviously we're still 10th, which is, well, although now we're 2 points ahead of Villa after they drop points to West Ham. So, we're making big moves. So yeah, look, we're on 37 points from 26 games. We win our game in hand, we go to 40, 8 points off Spurs. We still need the likes of Brentford, Fulham, Brighton, Liverpool, Newcastle, etc. to all drop points. That's a big ask. It is a big ask, but we've got Brighton at home. We've got Brentford at home to play still. We've still got Liverpool to play at home as well. We've got Aston Villa at home.
Newcastle as well.
We've got Newcastle at home as well. And then we've obviously got the top three to play away from home still, along with Bournemouth. Now, obviously, for me, if we're going to make the top four, we basically, out of our last 12 games, I honestly believe we have to win
all of them. Basically.
I think we have, all of them definitely would probably get us in the top four. But if we're being realistic, we need to win 9 or 10 of those last games to to have any chance, really, is my expectation. I mean, how do you look at it? Because we don't want to get carried away after 3 wins, but we've got a lot of games at home. Another 4 games. I mean, it helps that Fulham lost today. It helped that Liverpool lost yesterday. It helps that Brighton dropped points. It helped that Brentford lost as well. We will climb up from 10th place. I mean, personally, for me, I think we're looking at a 6th or a 7th place. But I mean, do you think we've got it in us to maybe have a run at that top 4? Because it's still quite open.
Yeah, it's tough, man, because there's so many teams in there. It's just like not all of those teams. So if you go from let's go from United. So from United, Tottenham, Newcastle, Liverpool, Brighton, Fulham, Brentford, not all of those teams are going to consistently keep up the winning form, because at some point they have to play each other. So there's going to be weeks where, for example, Tottenham have had a great week with respect to sort of like their win against Forest, and then teams around them dropping points, like Manchester United, Liverpool dropping points, Brighton as well, Fulham, even Brentford as well. So it's been a good week for them in that respect. But for us, chasing has been a great week for us for that European pursuit. So yeah, like I said, those teams above us have dropped points, apart from currently Newcastle. So it's just going to be weeks where we're in the driving seat to sort of pursue. Then there'll be weeks where, say, if we drop points, then other teams will win. So I just think it's a bit too much to ask. I think with the amount of losses and draws we've had since Potter's been in, I just think it's too much of a stretch for us. I do still think we'll be a bit far off top 4. And like you said, I think realistically, I think we can get, maybe 5th or 6th, because from us to Liverpool, we're 5 points away. And say if we do beat Liverpool, I think the decision for me will be, if we do beat Liverpool, I think that's where I have a clear idea of where we'll sort of finish.
Yeah. I mean, I think it helps us that we've got all the teams, bar Fulham. We've still got to play all the teams
as well.
Bar Fulham and Spurs. We've still got to play all the teams above us.
Yeah,
and we've got the 3 teams in Brighton, Brentford, and Liverpool. We've got all of them at home. Obviously, the big 3 away, that's going to be really tough. Let's make no mistake about it.
For the top 2 as well. So
that's going to be really tough. Make no mistake about it. But I mean, if you had to say now, what would you be thinking in terms of where we might end up? I'm probably looking at, if I'm being totally honest, I think we'll be around, at best for me, we'll come 5th. I think we're more looking like a 6th or a 7th.
Yeah, I think my gut is saying 6th at the moment. Sorry, not 7th. I think 6th is realistic for me. I purely don't want to finish 7th just because of the Conference League, man. Like, I'd really hope.
Well, I think it'll be an extra space for Europa League, because United won the League Cup, didn't they? So if United
is that right?
The Champions League, but then if Newcastle finish Europa League as well, then because they were runners up, so I think you get an extra Europa League spot. So I think actually 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Okay, I guess I don't mind
the Europa League, and I guess 8th. I could be totally wrong on that, but yeah. Guys in the chat, let us know your thoughts. I mean, you can vote in the poll as well, by the way, if you think Chelsea will finish in the top 4, but also bang in the chat where you think Chelsea will likely finish this season. I mean, it's a little bit frustrating, isn't it, Dharmesh, in terms of the fact that, like, you look at the points we've dropped, the games we've lost, the games we've drawn. Like, if we just converted a couple of those draws into wins, which was very doable, or a couple of those losses into draws, the top 4 would still be well on. And it's just frustrating because that race for 4th spot is so open.
Yeah, it's just like games we lost, like Tottenham, obviously we lost recently.
Southampton.
Southampton we lost as well. That's a stupid game to drop points in. Newcastle as well, arguably. I know it's a tough away game, but to get the sort of top 4, you have to sort of beat these teams. Losing badly to Brighton as well. I guess, see, on the flip side, with Brentford away, I think that's a point gained more than a point dropped, in my opinion, given the way.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And then obviously you got Fulham, which was stupid. We should have beaten them at home. I know they're a great side this season. Obviously away from home, we lost to them as well. So there's all these like ifs and buts, man. But yeah, there's so much to come, and there's so much football to be played. Who knows, man? At this point, there might be next week where United are back in the driving seat. Liverpool might be back in the driving seat again. Yeah, it's just going to alter, man, depending on the fixtures. I believe Spurs have to play Liverpool as well.
I think Spurs have got a trip to Anfield still. Yeah,
I for 4th place, I still think Spurs will get 4th, given the gap that they have. And the inconsistency of Liverpool as well. It's just how can you go from scoring 7 to losing to Bournemouth, man, away? So yeah, man. Yeah, who knows, man? Who knows at this point? We'll see on May 28th, 29th, man, where we actually finished, to be fair. So yeah.
Yeah, let's see how.
Sorry to say as well, the
Yeah.
Champions League as well. I think that will play a big part for our sort of like progression in the league. Say if we do sort of sack off the European pursuit in the league, then go all in for the Champions League. I personally wouldn't mind that as well. Try and get that number 3 in the bag. So yeah,
I think it depends. If we get to the last 4, then we might start maybe sacrificing league games for want of a better phrase. Like I think that could be quite feasible in doing that.
We've got the squad to do it as well. Like nobody can say we haven't got the squad.
No, we have got the squad.
We've got injuries, yeah.
You can find some videos of him online for Kingston City. Oh, okay. Oh, Sonny Slough. Fair. I mean, I went through Slough yesterday on my way to Maidenhead. Really, I don't know why that's interesting information for anyone, but yeah, it is what it is. Fulham was today as well. Yes, they did. 5th, but win the Champions League. I mean, yeah, that would be great.
I'm sorry, Charlie. Am I right in saying that if we win the Champions League and whoever finishes 4th, it just get added up? We'll just get added on.
I think they've scrapped that rule where Everton finished 4th that year, but Liverpool came outside the top 4 but won it, and then they replaced Everton in it or something like that. Or Everton had to go and do the qualify. I don't know what it was, but I think they have scrapped that rule. I think it's now just an extra place.
Interesting.
But top 6 is more really. Yeah, I agree with Stefan here. Stefan here is like, top 6 is I think 6th is where we'll end up. Anything above that would be a massive bonus.
Obviously, it'd be great if we do finish a 4th. Like, obviously, fantastic.
Of course, it would be. Yeah. But in terms of like 5th and 6th, it's for me. Other than the prize money, it's kind of irrelevant. You're not in the Champions League anyway. You're both playing Europa League. 5th or 6th is literally you're talking about prize money. So I really don't think it matters that much. But yeah, mate, let's get into some player ratings then. Guys, get involved in the chat with your player ratings. Make sure you smash the likes on the stream. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Had quite a few new subscribers from after the vlog yesterday. So keep subscribing, guys. And also, if you haven't checked out the match day vlog from yesterday, please do go and check that out. Smash a like on it and leave your thoughts in the comments. Is up on the channel now. But yeah, you can also donate via the super chat function as well, guys. Any donation, no matter how big or small, is greatly appreciated by the channel and myself. So please do that if you're feeling generous on this Sunday afternoon. You can donate via the super chat function. I've tried to make this look as much like the third kit as possible from yesterday. Kind of combined a bit of an orange and a yellow there. Doesn't quite look the same, but it's there or thereabouts. It's there or thereabouts. Yes,
love the creativity, mate.
Mate, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, I've got it's not quite looking the same, but yeah. Let's get into it, people. Dharmesh, Kepa yesterday. All right, you could argue a little bit could he have done better with the goal? Could he have not done better with the goal? I think it's personally a little bit harsh to say that he could have done better. It is a good strike. Yes, when you get beaten at the near post, there's always going to be question marks about the goalkeeper, but I think it was a good strike. Other than that, he made some great saves. Kept us in the game. A couple of good saves from a few strikes from Leicester players that I can't remember. But I actually thought he was pretty solid. And, he's hands down our number 1. And his kind of resurgence has been unbelievable, really, considering where he was under Lampard. Like, the resurgence has been quite something.
Yeah. I thought Kepa, from what I saw, was pretty good, apart from that sort of error where we kind of got away with it, where I believe it was the corner of the cross that came in and he sort of didn't catch it, and sort of his parry was quite weak, and then that chance fell to Dewsbury Hall, where it was quite fortunate that he didn't sort of get good contact on it. But apart from that, I thought decent performance. He's on number 1, justifiable as well. He's really turned it around since sort of Mendy sort of dropped off massively this season. So I think there'll be lots of debates whether he should be our number 1 next season, which is also justifiable. Like, we have to remember how terrible he actually was back then as well. And then if we can carry over that to the next season, fair play. It might prove me, it might prove a few friends wrong. But yeah, I thought Kepa overall was solid. I'll probably give him a 7, 6, 7. Yeah. 6.5. Let's go 6.5.
Let's go 6.5 in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's hot. I think that's reasonably fair.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Wesley Fofana. I mean, I think for me personally, I think Fofana's been nothing short of exceptional since he's come back into the side from injury. Yeah, let's wait and see. Fofana, I thought it was good yesterday. Obviously, a bit of a hostile reception from the fans, from the Leicester fans, because of the kind of the circumstances in which he left, in terms of refusing to play, in terms of not turning up for training and whatnot. You can understand him being in for a bit of a hot reception, but I think he dealt with the atmosphere really well, and he's just a really good player. It's as simple as that. You know, he looks comfortable on the right hand side of that three, or he looks comfortable in a back four. A really good performance. Unlucky not to score with a header at the start of the second half from Chilwell's corner. It was actually a good save from Ward in the end. But another assured performance at the back from Fofana. We're not letting in many goals, whether we go the back four, whether we play back three. One thing remains, and I think it's a credit to the guys that have been filling in, the guys that have been in the defence, is that we don't actually miss Thiago Silva. I know that might sound like a stupid question, like a stupid thing to say, because he probably is our best defender, and he's a player of exceptional quality. But the fact is that the likes of Cucurella, Koulibaly, Fofana, Yobadia Shields and whatnot, everyone stepped up in Silva's absence. So we're not actually feeling Silva's absence as much as I think we thought we might have done. But yeah, Fofana exceptional yesterday. I thought really good again, despite the hostile environment. I mean, Dharmesh, how impressed have you been with Fofana kind of since he's come back from injury? This is kind of really the first run of games that we've actually seen from him, because right at the start of the season, he played a couple of games and he got injured in October, and then we didn't see him again until a couple of weeks ago. But I think he's been superb in the last 3-4 games.
Yeah, he's been. I'm quite surprised of how good he's sort of been, considering the couple of injuries, like big injuries, he's picked up, and he's like got that elite mentality of like coming back, slotting into the team really well, getting the pace of the league back again, as well as like sort of building that sort of chemistry with the centre backs around him as well. And I think the system suits him well as well, because he can sort of drive forward as well, sort of like what Rudiger used to do for us in a way. Not as much, but he can do that as well. Got remarkable pace as well. Defends really well as well, and he's learning alongside Koulibaly at the moment as well. And I'm sure Thiago Silva's like probably one of the coaches on the training pitch, like apart from injury and stuff, but he's probably one of the coaches there helping Fofana as well. Good investment at the moment, man. Worth the 70 million, I think, and I think we'll.
No, mate, it will look like an absolute bargain for sure.
Oh, for sure, yeah, and I'm sort of glad that we signed him. If it obviously went horribly wrong, we'd be regretting signing him for that kind of money. But yeah, I definitely want to see him start consistently as well. And I think he'll definitely make mistakes on the way. I'm sure of that, because of how young he is. Is he 21 or 22?
Yeah, he's 21 or 22. I can't remember which one.
Something like that. And like people rave on about Saliba, man, but we've got
this guy's clear of Saliba. Even bias aside, it's not even a debate. Like they
didn't they?
They both came from St Etienne. Yeah.
And we've got our own Fofana, man. So yeah, rating for yesterday, I'll probably give him an
8.
Yeah, I'd say an 8 as well. From what I saw,
I think an 8's fair. Maybe might give him an 8.5. I thought he was really good.
That's fair. And judging, like going back to sort of his old club as well, it's always tough getting that sort of hostile environment from the fans as well. So
yeah, just getting absolutely hammered.
It was good, yeah.
Oh, Fofana turned 22 in December, so 22.
Still young, yeah.
Yeah, mate, still a young kid. Koulibaly next. Since Silva's been out and since we've reverted to the back three, he's looked so much better, and his performances have actually been top draw. He's not really put a foot wrong in the last 3 games, and he's looking like the player, that we actually paid that money for from Napoli, the player that we knew was there, the quality that we knew was there, that we've seen him do time and time again over the years in Serie A and in the Champions League. I'm really pleased to see him actually put a solid run of performances together and show the obvious quality that he does have, because I think people, including myself, were losing a little bit of faith in him in terms of his performance levels. But another really solid performance from him yesterday, and it's great to see, because it's never nice to see a player struggling and not doing well. It's been a difficult start to his Chelsea career, but he's really stepped into that leadership role in the back three, being the more experienced out of the back line. And yeah, I think he's been fantastic.
Yeah, Koulibaly, man, fair play to him. He's turned it around. Past 2 games he's been in, like you said, bringing that experience to the back line as well as assurance for the midfield and also the goalkeeper as well. Like you see at times as well, he sort of steps into that sort of 6th role as well when Enzo and Cover sort of push forward as well, which is quite good as well. He knows how to read danger. He's obviously experienced as well. And he just has to keep these performances going because let's not forget of how bad he's been like up until sort of the start of sort of like or the end of February, should I say. But it'd be interesting to see when Thiago Silva comes back. If we stick with this back three, I wonder who up these back three players will sort of miss out in a way. But my feeling is Cucurella possibly, and Koulibaly will go back to sort of that left centre back role in the Champions League, especially. But yeah, it's keeping Badiashile out of the team as well, who I think has been good as for us as well. So yeah, long may it continue with Koulibaly, man. I'll probably give him an 8 for yesterday.
Yeah, I think an 8.
Got the assist for the goal as well. Some good step overs, good turn as well.
Yeah, mate. He's got a little bit about him. Let's move on to Cucurella. What we got here? I think Koulibaly I think he did.
True, maybe. Yeah.
It doesn't matter how experienced you are, how many games you've played. Like going from Serie A to the Premier League is different. It's a step up. It's a completely different way of playing. A lot more fast paced, a lot more physical. He'll come up against sides and players that you wouldn't have come up against in Serie A. There is quality in Serie A, of course, but the game's played totally different in Italy than it is in England. I just think it's taken a little bit of time for him to adapt, but I think we're now starting to see the quality. In terms of Cucurella, mate, obviously had to keep his place in the team after that man of the match performance against Dortmund. I thought another really good performance. Some of his passes where he passes it in field they're superb. They really are. And this perhaps wasn't quite as good as Dortmund, but this was another really, really solid performance from him. And these are probably his best 2 performances in a Chelsea shirt the last 2 games. And I'm really pleased for him because it's obviously been difficult for him off the field. It's been difficult for him on the field. Certain sections of the fans have booed him, which is a joke. But Potter's taken him out the firing line for a few games. He's put him back in, and he's repaying that faith. And he's showing the quality that he's obviously got. Pep is not interested in you if you're a shit player. So yeah, it's as simple as that. I mean, I was impressed again with him yesterday.
Yeah, Cucurella, solid yesterday from what I saw as well. Those grass cutter passes, man, they're so good, man. Like the amount of like, do you know those zipped passes into the channel, man?
Mate, he does it well.
And he can slot into midfield as well, which also helps a lot as well. A lot of people don't realize of how much that helps, where he can sort of step in and drop into midfield as well, because he sort of did that for Brighton as well, where say Chilwell's pushing forward, he can sort of slot into that left mid role and drop in as well as like a DM at times as well. So yeah, Cucurella, another solid performance, man. And like the way Potter's sort of managed, Cucurella's been really good as well. I have to give him credit for that. So yeah, I'll probably give him a it's a hard one actually. I'd probably give him a 7, maybe. Yeah,
I might go 7.5. I don't think he was that much worse than Cucurella.
Yeah.
Sorry, than Koulibaly. I'd probably give him a 7.5.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
I think that's pretty fair. I mean, the back line were good yesterday.
Yeah, it was solid. Yeah, solid from what. So obviously you saw the whole game, but from what I saw in the second half, yeah,
mate, they were solid. I mean, it's that simple. Those guys were solid. Let's move on to right wing back. Let's have a quick look at this one. Guys, I'm super impressed with Potter's management with players like Cucurella, Kai, Gallagher, Mudryk. Yeah, no, I agree. And I said this in my fan cam on Chelsea TV after the game that Potter's man management has been really good.
It's improved a lot.
It's improved in terms of like, leaving Mudryk out of the squad for a few games and then bringing him back in. He was pretty good yesterday, as we'll come on to. Taking Cucurella out the firing line for a few weeks, giving him some time off, bringing him back in, 2 exceptional performances. The way that he's used Gallagher, and I think Gallagher has been really impressive in his appearances from the bench. Looks like he could be turning into that Jose Mikel kind of vibe where you see Gallagher coming on and shit's going to get shut down. Look, I think he's done really well. And again, I think another one in Madueke, people talking about, Madueke's not played that much. He turned 21 the other day. He's not here to make an impact right now. Obviously, it'd be great if he can, but he's here with a view to the future. If a 21-year-old kid misses out the match day squad for a few weeks, it's not a disaster. I don't think questions need to be asked. I think Potter knows what he's doing, in terms of managing these players. And I don't think you can underestimate how difficult it is to manage a squad of 30 plus players and keep them all happy. It's an impossible task. So I think, in fairness to him, credit where credit's due. I actually think he's done really well in managing the team.
It's improved. It's definitely improved a lot, bro, compared to sort of when the first sort of set of players came through the summer. He was a little bit clueless in that way, where he wasn't really sure what to do. But obviously, he's learning on the job as well, currently as well. So we're sort of dealing with the amount of players that he's been thrown at. So yeah, with that respect, he's done quite well with that. But I'll obviously give my verdict on Potter later on. Once we sort of power through the play ratings.
Ruben. Mudryk. I thought it was annoying that goal was ruled out, but it was class to see him do that Drogba knee slide with the arm celebration. That was good. Moving on to Ruben. I think Ruben's versatility gets underappreciated. This is a guy that's a central midfield player, and yet he's playing right wing back. Yeah, we know he's not the best defensively, but he does a solid job there. And every time he's called upon to fill in there, he doesn't let you down. And that he might not be the best player technical wise, ability wise, talent wise, but he's someone that just doesn't let you down when he plays. And I think that there's a lot to be said for that. And it wasn't spectacular yesterday, but he was really solid. There was a couple of times where he got out the pitch really well, didn't really get caught out too much defensively. And yeah, I just think this was good from him. And I think his role in the squad is a little bit underappreciated.
Yeah, he's our James Milner, man. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He's literally is he's played so many positions for us where he's done a decent job. But yeah, yesterday I thought Ruben was decent on the right hand side, putting a good performance. I thought again, obviously it's not Reece James levels when he plays there, but when
of course it's not. No one is.
Yeah, true. That's why he's the best in the world in that position. But yeah, Ruben. I think what makes him stand out in a way is sort of his height and presence in the team as well. I think that's something that we don't really have, is that sort of height. And sort of that. I think Aranyak mentioned there about the long legs. They actually do count for something, because you see with Rodri
covers ground quite quickly.
And he covers ground, like you said, covers ground quickly as well. Can make those sort of crucial interceptions as well with his long legs, which might sound so silly, but it actually makes a difference. Where you see short players, they wouldn't have that sort of stride that a tall player has. So I think that makes a difference on sort of the tackling side of things. And who was he up against yesterday on the left? Who was playing on the left?
I think they had Tete out there in the second half. Madison was kind of operating there. I can't remember who else they had, but I think he's done all right. I'd probably give him a 6.5. Yeah,
6.5 is fair for me as well.
I think a 6.5.
He's decent to have on sort of the counter attack as well, because I think his best attribute is his ball carrying ability. I think his ball carrying ability is good. It's probably the best thing he can do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I got a Frogs big up. No, we're not being reactionary or anything. I just praising the win for what it is, but also feet firmly on the ground. That 3 wins is not out the woods and everything's all right, but we're definitely taking steps in the right direction. A win over a big side is missing in the league. Let's see if that comes. What else have we got here? Want Madueke back in the team? Yeah, no, his time will come. No doubt about that. I've done that. Anyway, guys, keep smashing the likes on the stream. Keep subscribing to the channel as well. And remember, you can donate via the super chat function as well. Any donations to the channel would be greatly appreciated, no matter how big or small. Let's move on to Ben Chilwell, mate. Great performance for him yesterday. Great day for him. Obviously, probably a game that he's up a lot. We probably is that extra little bit more up for. Return to Leicester. Fans never give him a great reception. He was class yesterday. Took his goal really well. Got up and down that left-hand side. His deliveries into the box are really good. Mate, he was superb yesterday, and he's what a player. I'm such a big fan of his, and you know, it is a shame that he's not actually played for England more. In this form, he should be playing for England more. And if England stick with a back three, which they obviously didn't at the World Cup, but you know, Southgate has employed a back three. Like Chilwell is better than Luke Shaw for a back three. Back four, it's definitely more even. And I can understand in the back four maybe why Chile doesn't play as much compared to Shaw, because I think Chile is not as good in the back four. I think that's a fair thing to say.
Yeah.
But yesterday, mate, fantastic.
Yeah, just I keep saying, man, from that injury, I don't know what it is, man. In my opinion, anyway, like I've always rated Chilwell before the injury, but I just think he's got so much better since then. I don't know if it's you, bro, or maybe my sort of
I don't know.
Yeah, but I just think I keep saying his crossing ability and his technical ability just got so much better. I thought at times he looked a bit stiff on the ball like before. That's just my personal opinion on Chilwell before. But now, since coming back, man, he's a completely different player, in my opinion, from what I've sort of seen, from what I've watched of Chilwell. And I thought, yeah, again, really, really good yesterday, bro. Took the goal really well as well. I think a lot of people underestimate how difficult that sort of chance is, where it's a floating ball. Finish. It's kind of spinning as well. And then to put that level of strike, it's not on his favourite side as well. It's on the right side as well. And to keep that hard and low, like really good goal as well. Defensively solid as well. Passing and moving, the 1-2s he was doing as well, really good. So
I think I think a 9 is fair.
I think we gave him a 9 against Dortmund, didn't we? It was at 9.5, and yeah, I'll probably have to say 9 again.
Mate, and I think a 9 is fair. Really, really good.
Our most informed player, I think, at the moment.
When is Kante back? Potter saying that Kante, the aim is to get him ready to play some part against Everton. So that's obviously not going to be a start. Maybe he can get 10 minutes, 15 minutes from the bench. That'll be the aim to kind of build him up this week to try and do that. So Kante hopefully back next week. But if he's not, there's no way that he can go and play for France before he plays for Chelsea. That would just be a joke. If he's not going to play against Everton, he's certainly not going to be called up to the France squad. Or
I'd have him ready for Liverpool at home. I think that's the big one where we want sort of Kante fit, firing and ready. It's sort of build his minutes up for Liverpool. I can't remember we played the game before. I think, is it Villa before Liverpool?
I think we got. It might even be Wolves away and then Liverpool.
Is it Wolves away?
I can't remember.
Yeah, so it's Everton at home, then we go into international break, then it's Villa at home, then it's Liverpool at home. Then we got
two. We got 2 home games. So we go Villa.
3 home games in a row, bro.
So Villa is the first home game back after the international break.
Yeah.
Then we play them. So we play Villa on the Saturday or the Sunday, whatever it is. Then we play Liverpool. Yeah. Then we play Liverpool Tuesday night.
Yeah, Tuesday night. Yeah, and then we play Wolves.
And then we go to Wolves the following weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, and then obviously play Brighton after that as well. But I'd sort of want Kante to start sort of the Aston Villa game and then take him off and then have him ready for Liverpool at home, because that's the game that he turns up for every single time. All my Liverpool mates just like hate Kante in that respect. We're like, oh, is N'Golo fit for Liverpool? I'm like, well, yeah.
I think we've got to manage the expectations around Kante as well. Like the guy's not played since August. Like he's not going to suddenly come back and be unreal. He just isn't.
Yeah, it's curious to see how he develops his game as well. So
yeah. I mean, this is a plus if it does stay like that. I mean, Newcastle dropping points. Yeah, we want as many teams above us to drop points as possible. 70th minute, they've just scored. Hwang Hee-chan tapping into an empty net. I mean, yeah, any teams above us that can drop points, that's a big plus. We do need all the help we can get.
Wolves on a resurgence as well, man. It'd be tough away game.
Wolves are a half decent team for sure. Let's move into the midfield, mate. Enzo. We touched on him earlier. The guy just oozes class. That vision and that eye for a pass, like always forward thinking. He's kind of the closest thing we've had since Fabregas left. In terms of that eye for a pass, in terms of that quality to pick a pass out. And he just loves the club, or you can already tell he just absolutely loves it. I don't know if you've seen the clip, like when Kovacic scored, he kind of celebrated the goal more than Kova did.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
little knee slide, little jumping and punch in the air. It means a lot to him, obviously. Still waiting for the first goal, but mate, you can just tell, like, the short amount of time he's been here, this guy's got so much quality.
Oh, for sure, man. Enzo is just, yeah, like you said, oozes so much class, man. Like, going forward, especially, man. And I keep saying, man, this ain't the best Enzo we've seen, man. Like, if you get a proper midfielder next to him, man, and have him playing high up the pitch, I'm sure we'll definitely see the best of Enzo with regards to sort of goal scoring ability, assist ability as well. But even without those, bro, he's been so good, man. Some of the passes he plays, his intelligence of when to dribble out, when to sort of pass back as well. I think that's so underrated as well. And yeah, I'm so lucky that we sort of, to the ownership, that they sort of went all in for him on the final day of the transfer window to sort of bring him in. Yeah, with my rating, I'll probably give him a 8.5.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, 8.5, and I think definitely that goal is coming, man. That long range goal is coming, man.
The first Enzo goal is it needs to come this season. I don't care where it comes.
Yeah.
But
even if it's a penalty, I wouldn't mind him taking penalties. To be fair.
But I'll be there and I'll be loving it when that does happen. We need an Enzo backup though. No one else plays like him. No, that is true. Like if Enzo gets injured or he's suspended for whatever reasons, then there isn't really another profile like him in the squad. Maybe we look to buy a similar player to him in the summer, someone that could be a bit of a backup to him potentially. I'm not really sure, but yeah, that would be a slight concern. I think it's fair to say. Let's move on to Cover, captain the side again. I'm a little bit critical of Cover in terms of this season. I don't think his performance has been that great, but against Dortmund he was good, and in this game he was really good as well. And the finish for the goal, by the way, is class.
DeCanio-esque, man, that goal,
mate, it's a really hard finish to do, to perform that kind of a shot in that enclosed space and to get it on target and into the back of the net. It's a sort of thing that Cover does. Cover doesn't score shit goals. He doesn't score many goals, but when he does score, you know it's going to be a good one. And I think it's good. That's been one of my big criticisms of Kovacic, is that for a player of his quality, he doesn't contribute anywhere near enough goals and assists.
And he can as well. We've seen he's got the ability to actually do it, but I don't know whether that's a instruction given to the manager to sort of sit back at times and not push on. But yeah, Kovacic was solid. I think since he's got the captain's armband as well, I think that's elevated his game as well, in my opinion as well. Sort of that confidence boost as well. You've seen in the past where players are given captains, they sort of fold, but on the flip side, sometimes they raise their game, and Kovacic has done that past sort of couple of games. And yeah, he's not had a great season and stuff. We'll see what happens in the summer. But for now, man, like he's been such a good player. And I really do hope we keep him if he continues to perform like this.
He's going to have to sign a new contract this summer. Otherwise, he's gone.
Yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, based on yesterday, I'll probably give Cover a...
I think an 8. I think an 8's probably fair.
Yeah, I think it's fair as well.
I think an 8. I think an 8's fair. Yeah. Pez Lord and Dan agreeing in the chat with an 8 there. Let's move on to the front line then. Let's start with Kai Havertz, and I'm happy to hold my hands up in terms of fair play, Kai. Last 2 games, you've been fantastic. But I think it's important not to get carried away. You know, 2 good performances don't cover up for the fact that this season he's been so disappointing.
Or for the past 3 seasons, even. Yeah.
Or for the past 3 seasons, like he's just been a moments player. You know, I think this is the first time in probably almost a year that he's actually put together 2 decent performances on the spin. It's 2 goals in 2 games now. A really quality finish, by the way. That, make no mistake about it. That's a hard finish to do. He kind of made that look so easy, but that is a tough
for sure, man.
That is a tough finish. And his overall play was pretty good yesterday. A lot of stuff went through him. It was his ball into the box to that Mudryk headed back for Cover's goal. Obviously scored himself. So yeah, you know, look, this was a good performance, but I think like we need to not get too carried away with Havertz here. This is 2 good performances out of a whole season. Like, I'm not going to get carried away. I'm just going to say it for what it is. You've played well for 2 games. Great stuff. Really pleased for you. But we need to see this over months and over the course of a season. Because right now I'm still not convinced on Kai Havertz. We know there's quality there, but we need this on a consistent basis when you're playing for Chelsea, and we don't see it on a consistent basis. So until I start to see it kind of week in, week out, 4, 5, 6 games on the spin, etc., then I'm not going to get sucked into the trap of thinking that Kai Havertz is back. There's quality there. We've seen it. But last 2 games, fair play, great job. But this is not suddenly like all is forgiven for what we've seen for the last 3 years. But he was very good yesterday. Fair play to him.
Yeah, just keep it coming, Kai Havertz, man. Just keep proving us wrong, man. That's just what we want as fans. Like when we criticize players, it's for a reason. It's not an agenda or anything like that. It's just the fact that we personally don't think you're good enough to play for Chelsea. In the past 2 games, you're proving us wrong. So just keep it coming. Like perform to the end of the season, and yeah, it'll be an interesting discussion to have come May whether we decide to sell him or decide to keep him. And yeah, I thought he was he was literally the silky. He's been the silky German for 2 games. So yeah, let's just see what happens with Kai. But yeah, solid yesterday, man. I think that that inside forward roles suited him quite well. I know he's played in the past, but he hasn't turned up for those sort of like I don't know if that's a system thing or whether that's the midfield, but I think that inside forward role sort of suited him, and that floating role where we can interchange with the forward as well. I think that suits him a bit more. So. Yeah, obviously the goal as well, underrated finish, man. That flick, I think Paul Merson said that was Bergkamp-esque. That goal.
So, it was a little bit, yeah.
So yeah, rating for Kai Havertz yesterday. See, I probably won't give him a 9. I don't think he was good as Chilwell.
I think an 8.5 is fair.
8.5 is fair. Yeah, I think it was the same sort of rating as Enzo. I think.
Yeah, I think Havertz had a good game, and this needs to continue. But let's not get carried away. It is 2 good games, 2 good performances. That's what it is. We need to see more of it, but hopefully that can continue.
Definitely.
Let's move on to Felix. Obviously, he only played a half. He had a goal ruled out for offside. Oh, fuck's sake. Newcastle have scored again.
Damn.
That's annoying. Oh, well, it's what it is. Felix was only played a half. I think he took a couple of big knocks to his ankle. Not sure what. There was no real update there on any situation, but I presume that's why he was taken off. First half, though, goal ruled out for offside. Hit the post. Not like he's influential, but it wasn't amazing from him. But you can tell, as we said earlier, that he has raised the level of this attack, even if he hasn't got the numbers to back it up. His arrival has elevated this attack. There's no two ways about it. But in terms of yesterday, I think he was okay. This wasn't like anything vintage. He got a bit unlucky yesterday, hitting the bar, goal ruled out for offside and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. I probably give him a 6. I think that's probably fair, but I think it's only a matter of time before he does start to find the net on a regular basis for us in the next few games, because he is getting really close.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about João Felix in all honesty, because if you watch football, you can see, if you watch us, you can see the amount of quality he's brought to our side. I know obviously the goals and assists don't translate to that, but it's kind of similar to Enzo in a way where you can see the quality that he's sort of brought for us and how much he's improved us, man, in terms of the forward line. And I really do hope we sort of sign him in the summer, man. I know people might not disagree with it, but I do think he'll become a superstar at our club, and he's much better than the other players that we got in that position. Considering he only played a half, a bit unfortunate with hitting the post again, and that disallowed goal. I'll probably give him a 6. At fault for the goal as well, otherwise I'd have given him a 6.5. But he was at fault for the goal, so I'll probably give him 6 for yesterday.
I think the 6 is fair. I just get to a few things in the chat. No, I wouldn't pay more than 80 million for him either. I think that has to be the ceiling. I don't think we can be spending more than that on him for sure. Liability for defensive duty. Simeone hates this part of his gameplay. Felix in midfield 3 causes imbalance. Yeah, look, I think there's some valid points there. Some things that he definitely needs to work on, but I don't think you can deny that his arrival has elevated our attack, or certainly got them on their toes a little bit more, knowing that their positions are under threat, or they've got to work hard to get their positions back to him. Mate, last one then. Mudryk started through the middle. We touched on that earlier. Kind of a smart choice from Graham Potter with that pace, get him in behind, expose that Leicester backline. What did you make of his performance? Obviously, got the assist for the cover goal. Had a goal ruled out himself. This was better from him. It wasn't amazing, but I think this was better.
Yeah, took the goal really well as well. Obviously, it didn't count, but was cool and composed in that position. His pace as well, like some of the dribbles he can do as well. It's quite frightening. His first touch needs improving though for sure, man. But I think if we give him more sort of time in the team, a bit of a run in the team, I think we can truly judge Madrid. Fair enough if he stinks up the forward line for consistently for about 5 or 6 games, we can say, okay, he maybe needs time on the bench and he's not been good. But we haven't seen. We have to remember we haven't seen much of him. I don't think he's completed the full 90 for us yet. Did he play full 90 yesterday? Or no?
No, he got subbed off yesterday for Trip
subbed off
with
as
about
well,
sort of 15 odd minutes to go, I think.
Yeah,
maybe 10 minutes.
I think Potter's just building up his minutes as well. Obviously he's been available and stuff. There's no reason to, but at the same time, keep saying he hasn't played a lot of football. So yeah, I think we just have to make a pure judgment on him with the run of games. And yeah, got the crucial assist for the cover goal as well. It's under a sort of underrated header, man, because he's sort of jumping.
Yeah, it's
jumping,
good.
Like,
it's good to knock that on the stretch, to knock that back into the danger area.
So, yeah, he did well to sort of keep that header sort of down for cover to finish. And yeah, I truly hope he sort of starts the next game or gets some minutes. Maybe when Sterling comes back, I'm not sure if Sterling will come back in, but yeah,
I think he probably will come back in. But there's going to be minutes here for Madrid for sure.
Exactly,
there definitely is. I'd probably give him a 6.
6, yeah. I was thinking 6.
Or maybe 6.5. I think he was a bit better than Felix was.
Okay, yeah, fairs, yeah, 6.5.
I think a 6.5 is fair. Let me just get to the last couple of things in the chat. Yeah, I think you could be the only one on that one, Varna. I don't
know about having Timo back, man.
No, I definitely wouldn't have Timo back. Definitely not.
The first thing, fair enough. Like, I can see why people think Mudrik's been average.
He's played 6 games, and he's not even completed a full 90. You know, I mean, people are so quick to write players off.
Just have to wait and see, man. I think.
Yeah, Felix can play as a 10. Yeah. Anyway, that's the player ratings. I think that's pretty fair. Some good scores in there, some good performances. So yeah, job done. First away win since then. Let's have it. Oh, there's just one last thing I quickly wanted to go through just to get your thoughts on, mate, and then we'll round this one out. This from earlier, I don't know how true this is. Sam being told that Mason Mount was left out of yesterday's squad, player described as fully fit. And this I think is his own opinion. Possibilities of Mason not signing a new contract could have played a factor in Potter's decision to leave him out of the side that beat Leicester. What are your thoughts on this? Because Potter in the presser said that Mount's been training, but he's not fully fit to return. So someone's lying, basically. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think, I mean, when you see the likes of kind of Pulisic and Ziyech more recently, obviously not in the last few games, getting minutes and stuff, and they're obviously not going to be here. Do you think Mount's not playing because of his contract situation? Do you think this is just someone making something up? I mean, because Potter said yesterday that he wasn't fit to play. So I don't really know what's going on here. But the fact of the matter is we're not missing Mason Mount because he's not been good this season. And, you know, that's just the reality of the situation. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a tough one. Like you said, we don't really miss Mason Mount because over the past sort of 3 games, we're sort of winning without him. So, yeah, I don't know about the injury stuff, and I don't really know about him being fully fit and being left out of the squad. Like, we've said so many times, players are going to miss out given the squad size we have. I think if the squad size was definitely less than what we normally have, I think I'd be more surprised. But because it's 33 players, man, we keep saying 33 players.
But also, if we stick with this back 3 as well,
he doesn't get into the team. Mason Mount.
He has to play in the front line.
And let's be real, he's not that great in the front line. I know he got a high sort of GNA in that position, but his performances and
we got different players now as well.
Exactly. So yeah, this Mason Mount stuff, man. It's just going to keep being stories being sort of mentioned about him up until we know his contract situation, whether he goes or stays. But yeah, see, it's annoying because I do think, like, for example, like Gallagher, I think there's sort of a position for him in the team, whether that's like as a squad player.
No, there is. I think also Gallagher's happy to be a squad player.
And I think Mason Mount sort of needs to understand that, where he's not as good as you think he is in a way. Like, I do think that you can be that sort of like squad player. It's just whether of acceptance in a way for him. And I don't think he's willing to accept that. So yeah, it's a tough one for Mason Mount. Like, if he goes, personally, I'll be gutted if he goes in a way. But at the same time, with the money that he wants, I don't think it's justified for sort of him wanting to stay for that sort of money, given the bad season he's had. And I know we've had players that have had bad seasons, and other players have bad seasons and come back, but I just don't think he'll get the money that he wants. In this ownership are not going to F about with signing players on big wages and just happily settling in at Chelsea on the bench and stuff. So yeah, it's a waiting game with Mason Mount, man. Let's just see what happens, man.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, either way, whatever happens, you know. Bigger players than Mount have come and left Chelsea. The club goes
fine.
on.
Yeah.
No players bigger than the club. Yes, of course, I'll be disappointed if he leaves, and I think it would be a mistake and a shame to let him go. But ultimately, no players bigger than the club, and the club will carry on. The team will carry on. Will still be successful whether Mount is or isn't here. But I think it would be a shame if he left. I do think it would be a mistake. I do think that I still believe he'll stay, but I do think it's a lot more likely that he leaves than stays as things currently stand. I just think that's the way it's going. But
Yeah,
ultimately, whatever happens, he's done good stuff for the club. There's no denying it. And obviously, of course, I wish him all the best if he left. But I do think it would be a big mistake on our part to let him go.
Also, as well, I think if we start to see him more out of the squad, I think if he's out the squad against Everton, then obviously international break. If he's still out the squad, then it's clear and obvious that it's the stuff to do contract because he's had 2 weeks for the international break to sort of recover from this sort of injury or whatever he's got. So yeah, I don't think he'll be selected for the England squad. I'm not sure when that gets announced, or who knows, he might. But
he probably will. I imagine he will get selected for the squad. I don't know
how much play in the international break as well. Like if he does get selected, because Southgate obviously likes him. So yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I mean,
see, man.
Let's just see. Ultimately, it is what it is. If he stays, great. If he doesn't, then as I said, I think it would be a shame. And I think it would be a mistake. But Chelsea goes on, life goes on. It's as simple as that for me. But yeah, that seems like a good point to round out. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for getting involved in the chat. Appreciate it as always. Please make sure you smash the likes on the stream on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Every new subscriber is greatly appreciated. On the road to 3K subscribers, looking to hit that before the end of the season. So let's get a big push on that. If you're tuning in now, you're not subscribed, make sure you do. Also, guys, check out the Matchday vlog from yesterday's trip to the King Power. It's a good one, probably the best one of the season so far. So please do make sure you check that out. And if anyone wants to donate via the super chat function on their way out, that would also be greatly appreciated. But it's 3 wins in a week for Chelsea, 3 goals. Things are on the up. We've got a week off now until Everton next weekend. So yeah, let's hope the positive steps in the right direction keep going. Things seem to be on the up, but let's keep our feet on the ground, one step at a time. Also, guys, make sure you follow Dharmesh on Twitter. In the description is the link, and it's also on his display name. Yeah, big up Pez Lord. Make sure you smash the likes, guys. And you can also follow me on Twitter as well. My link's in the description and on my display name. So make sure you do. Dharmesh, thanks for your time, bro. Guys, good times are not too far away at Chelsea. 3 wins on the spin. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you again soon. Up the Chelsea.
Big up.